You're standing in the music store aisle, staring at a line of alto saxophones, and you can feel that little knot in your stomach. What if I spend a lot of money and end up with an instrument that just doesn't click for me? That hesitation is real, especially when you're moving from a student model to something that promises professional performance. You want to know whether the Yamaha YAS 62III will actually deliver the tone, response, and reliability you need for gigs, rehearsals, and those late-night practice sessions, without turning your budget into a regret. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. Let's walk through what makes this sax stand out, who really benefits from it, and where the trade-offs lie. First off, the YAS 62III isn't just another step up in size. It's built around Yamaha's professional neck receiver. In plain language, that means the neck fits snugly into the body, keeping the instrument's overall resonance more consistent. For a player who's spent years fine-tuning intonation on a student sax, this little engineering detail translates to a more predictable sweet spot across the lower register. When you're playing a ballad in a small jazz club, you'll notice that the notes settle without that wobble you sometimes hear when the neck shifts under pressure. It's the kind of steadiness that lets you focus on phrasing rather than constantly adjusting your embouchure. The integrated key posts are another piece of the puzzle that shows up in everyday playing. On many saxophones, the key posts sit on the body and can dig into the palm after an hour of gigging. Yamaha's design embeds them into the instrument's framework, which spreads the pressure more evenly across your hand. If you've ever come home with a sore thumb after a long set, you'll appreciate this subtle ergonomic win. It's not a flashy headline feature, but in a real-world context, think 2-hour concerts, marching rehearsals, or marathon jam sessions, it reduces fatigue and lets you keep a steady airflow longer. Now, let's talk about the look in the case. The amber lacquer finish on the sax gives it a warm, vintage vibe that many players find inspiring. It's not just about aesthetics. The lacquer also adds a thin protective layer that can take a few bumps on the road without chipping. Pair that with the included hard case, also finished in amber, and you've got a travel companion that feels as sturdy as it looks. For anyone who tours regionally or needs to haul the instrument between school, practice rooms, and performance venues, the case's solid construction and secure latches are practical benefits you'll notice the first time you pack it up. Who should consider the YAS 62III? If you're an intermediate player who has outgrown a beginner model and is looking to step into a professional-grade instrument for college ensembles, semi-professional gigs, or serious private study, this sax hits the sweet spot. The 62-style neck, a hallmark of many of Yamaha's higher-end alts, offers a slightly longer pull-out compared with student necks, giving you better access to the low B and more nuanced control over the upper register. Musicians who play a mix of classical repertoire and contemporary jazz find this flexibility valuable because they can shape tone color without switching instruments. Likewise, band directors who need a reliable section leader instrument will appreciate the consistency that the professional neck receiver and integrated key posts bring to an ensemble setting. On the flip side, if you're just picking up the sax for the first time or you're primarily a hobbyist who plays in a casual weekend jam, the YAS 62III might feel like overkill. Its price point reflects the professional components, and the weight about a kilogram more than a student model can be noticeable when you're still developing proper posture. Beginners often benefit from a lighter, more forgiving instrument that tolerates a looser embouchure while they learn the basics. Jumping straight to a YAS 62III could lead to unnecessary strain, especially if you haven't yet built the core hand strength to handle the integrated key posts comfortably over long periods. Practical strengths shine when you test the sax in a few realistic scenarios. I've heard a college saxophonist describe how the instrument's response in the altissimo range feels immediate during a solo press a high F, and the note jumps out cleanly, without the squeaky resistance that sometimes plagues cheaper alts. In a marching band context, the sturdy case and lacquer finish have withstood a rainy outdoor rehearsal without any rust spots, something that matters when you're hauling gear in a van for a weekend competition. The key action remains smooth even after a full day of playing, thanks to the integrated posts that keep the mechanism aligned and less prone to the wobble you sometimes hear after a night of heavy use. Weaknesses are more about what the instrument doesn't do, rather than outright flaws. The YAS 62III does not come with a detachable neck, so swapping between different neck lengths or experimenting with alternate setups means you'll need to purchase separate necks, which adds to the overall investment. Also, because the instrument is tuned for